And if I told you that the smarter you think you are, the easier it is to fool yourself? Right now, your brain is making a mistake, and you probably don't even realize it. My favorite musician, Johann Sebastian Bach, was anything but a one-hit wonder. Unlike artists remembered for a single masterpiece, Bach created an astonishing body of work over his lifetime. Today, millions know his music, but few realize just how incredibly productive he was. I'll reveal the exact number of surviving compositions at the end of this chapter. But before that, I'd like to give you a simple challenge. How many concertos do you think Bach composed? Don't worry about being exact. Simply choose a range, perhaps between 100 and 500, that you believe has about a 98% chance of containing the correct answer. Seems easy, doesn't it? But this tiny exercise reveals something surprisingly important about the human mind. How much confidence should we really have in what we think we know? That question fascinated psychologists Howard Rafa and Mark Alpert. They interviewed hundreds of people, asking them to estimate quantities that almost nobody knew exactly. For example, the annual egg production in the United States, the number of physicians listed in Boston's phone directory, the number of imported foreign cars, or even the Panama Canal's annual toll revenue. Participants could choose any range they wanted. Their only goal was simple: be wrong no more than 2% of the time. The outcome shocked the researchers. Instead of missing the correct answer just 2% of the time, participants were wrong around 40% of the time. This striking psychological bias became known as the overconfidence effect. And it doesn't stop with trivia or guessing numbers. It also affects predictions about the future. Investors forecast stock prices, CEOs forecast company profits, governments forecast economic growth. Yet, again and again, people consistently overestimate how much they really know. What's remarkable is that the overconfidence effect isn't about whether a prediction turns out to be right or wrong. Instead, it measures the gap between what people actually know and what they believe they know. Even more surprising, experts often suffer from this bias more than ordinary people. Ask an economics professor to predict oil prices 5 years from now, and ask a zookeeper the same question. Neither is likely to be accurate, but the professor will usually express far greater confidence. The pattern appears almost everywhere. In one survey, 84% of French men believed they were above average lovers. Statistically, that is impossible. Another study found that 93% of American students rated themselves as above average drivers. And at the University of Nebraska, 68% of faculty members believed they ranked in the top 25% for teaching ability. Entrepreneurs display the same tendency. Almost every new restaurant owner believes theirs could become the next Michelin-starred success. Yet statistics tell a different story. Most restaurants close within just a few years, and average returns remain disappointingly low. Large construction projects tell a similar story. From the Airbus A400M to the Sydney Opera House and Boston's Big Dig, enormous projects almost always take longer and cost far more than originally predicted. Why does this happen? Partly because people genuinely believe their optimistic estimates, and partly because those involved often have incentives to make forecasts look better than reality. Perhaps the most fascinating part is this: the overconfidence effect isn't driven entirely by greed or ambition. It appears to be deeply rooted in human nature. There isn't an equal and opposite bias called underconfidence balancing things out. Research also suggests that men generally show stronger overconfidence than women. Even people who describe themselves as pessimists still overestimate their own knowledge, just not quite as much as optimists do. So, what's the lesson? Assume you know less than you think. Treat bold predictions with healthy skepticism, especially when they come from so-called experts. And whenever you're making plans, seriously consider the pessimistic scenario. Doing so won't make you negative. It will simply make you more realistic. Now, Back to Bach. The answer to our opening question is astonishing. To this day, 1,127 of Johann Sebastian Bach's compositions have survived. Historians believe he may have written many more, but those works have simply been lost to history.